What would it take to grow beautiful flowers, fresh herbs, and delicious homegrown vegetables without tilling, weeding, or weekly applications of fertilizer? Our answer is Earthbox, providing you with an efficient and environmentally friendly approach to gardening. It will produce higher yields with the least amount of maintenance and work. Nothing could be better than fresh vegetables at your fingertips. Delicious. Earthbox is a result of more than a decade of scientific research and testing. Now anyone, no matter where you live, can enjoy homegrown vegetables, flowers, and herbs without the guesswork and labor of conventional gardening. Let's get going. Let's get growing with Earthbox.
Hi, I'm Blake Whisnant, inventor of the Earthbox. What I have in my hand is this wonderful, wonderful Earthbox. Stick around a while. We'll show you a lot more later. Good morning. Happy to have you here today. We're going to be on the movies today. My name is Blake Whisnant. I'm going to be your instructor today. I'm going to teach you the simplicity of this box. How many of you have been here before? Only one or two. I can lie or say anything I want to say today then. Wonderful. Wonderful. I'm going to teach you the principle of the box, why it works and how it works. Just very briefly, a little bit of the background of who I am. I'm Blake Whisnant. I was born here in Manatee County. My family's been here since 1887. We've grown tomatoes at the farm since 1901, either on my mother's side or my father's side consecutively in Manatee County. So I've grown up in an agricultural family. In the early part of the 1990s, we had 19 inches of rain. Drowned everything we had at the farm. And I went in the house and I told my wife, before I die, I want to see if I can make a box above the ground that won't drown. And so the Earthbox came out of trouble. We drowned it out at the field, and I got interested in it. It became my hobby, became everything. I was possessed with it, and I worked and worked and worked on it. And I really truthfully believe that it's probably the best container there is in the world today to grow vegetables or something like that. University of Florida, Penn State have done a lot of work with this particular box. Now, let me take it apart and show you. I'm going to go step by step and teach you how to plant this box. First thing I'm going to do is take the screen out of it. This is our box right here. I'll walk in front of the table so you can see it better. This box is 30 inches long. She's 15 inches wide. She's 11 inches high. She holds 2 cubic feet of soil. She holds 3 gallons of water. She has a life expectancy of 40 to 50 years. I'll tell the class now, if you have trouble 40 or 50 years from now, come back and see me. I'll listen to you. And I'm very serious about it. I have a cemetery plot right across the street over there. And I'll be under the oak tree and you can talk in the shade to me about it. But we really believe this box will last. I'm going to turn the box up like this and you can see there's a water overflow hole in it right here in this corner. That's an overflow. And down here where the water and the soil are going to touch. These are the only 2 places in this box that the water and the soil touch. It's this corner and this corner right here. So I'll lay the box back up here on the top again like this. Turn it so the overflow, right, which is right there, is in the front of the box like this. Then I'll take this screen. And this is my serendipity. Now what does the word serendipity mean? Someone knows.
Lucky happenstance.
Exactly right. Lucky happenstance and a happy stance. You just won a cup. There's your serendipity.
That was a lucky happenstance.
You didn't expect it, and lo and behold, you got it, you see. That's the way this screen was. It taught me more, and I call it my serendipity screen. How many holes is in this screen?
Oh, God. Lots.
967. I was afraid that when I put the soil on top of this screen, it would fall through the holes and clog it up. And there's a law in physics that keeps it from doing it called the law of chaos. I dump it, and all that means is every one of us couldn't run through the door at the same time. Well, what was interesting about it was that every time I made that hole larger, I increased the yield on the box. Every time I made the hole smaller, I decreased the yield in that box. I found out there is a relation. So I made it the largest hole possible where the soil would not fall through. And then I've had this square cut out here and this square cut out here. And it was a happy day in my home when I found out I could make the water flow any direction in this box I wanted it to. I used to put one hole down here and the water would flow all together to the other end of this box. The way I have it right now, one hole here and one hole right here, the water will always flow this direction away from this hole. If I put one hole in the middle, it'll flow 360 degrees. But that was significant with me because I knew if I could control the flow of the water in that box, I could use all the fertilizer I wanted in that box without burning the plant. So I called this my Serendipity, and I loved it. I've had more fun with this and still working on this. We're going to be planting some citrus. We're going to design another box where I can grow trees about 6 feet high, put them in a box, and let them stay there and grow our citrus. If it freezes or something, I'll put wheels on it, we'll move them around or do something. But all these things arrive for what we call serendipity, unexpected pleasure. And I'm glad you got your cup. So let me come over here. I'll go back and forth between the two places. I'm going to drop this in, just like this. Then I take a tube, and this tube is going to go in this box. Snug, there she is. This box is now assembled. I'm going to water through the tube. The water's going to run out on the overflow. So what I'm going to have in this box is going to be 3 gallons of water, a ½ inch of air space to 3/4 of an inch of air space, and the soil above it right here. And now, next step I'm going to do, I'm going to put water in the box until the water runs out the hole, or almost out of the hole. So I'll turn the water on like this. Later on, all the water will be done through here. The water through the tube. But right now, I'm just letting it down like this. Oh, I should have told you one more thing. This is the most exciting time of the class, waiting for the water to run out. So if you've got a heart condition, it's more suspense. Shut your eyes. That's right. Y'all don't know it, but twice in my teaching of this class, I wet the people on the front row. It was an accident every time. So I've got a rule. If I wet you 90%, I'll give you a free earth box. And I've had 2 ladies jump up in the cloud, and both of them have said, wet me down. But I wet one of them down, and they got a free box. So we're almost there right now. Then I'm going to go through step by step how you plant this box. Is it out yet, the water? Is it out yet? There it is. No need to waste it. You cannot overwater this particular box right here. So I have water, air, and soil. Now I'm going to put the soil in, and I'm going to teach you the theory of kaplunk. That's what I call it. I dump it in very fast. We have a very good grade of potting soil here. I'm going to pick it up for you where you can see it. It's a light, loamy soil. The wind will blow it. It's Canadian peat, vermiculite, and perlite. She has a pH around 5.9 to 6.2. She has a wetting surfactant, and she's sterile. She's a very, very good soil. I never use a cheap soil in this box. Then I take this bag, and I go plunk. There it is. There's the theory. I dump it as fast as I can dump it. That soil will not fall through the water down, into the water. I'll fill it up. One bag to one box. Then I do something else that's very important. I play in the dirt. And I say that sincerely. I take my hand and I smooth it out. Smooth it out. I break every little clump up, and it feels so good going through your fingers. Just like that. Just like that. And you know the reason I play in this box? And I want to tell you this reason. A man asked me a question a couple of years ago. He said, how old are you? And I said, I'm 75. I was 75 a few years back. And he said, well, let me tell you something. When you plant a box, be sure you play on the top of the dirt, because before long you're going to be under the dirt. So I never plant a box that I don't play in the dirt on the top, and I think about that. I play in it till I enjoyed it very much, and then I get to do something else, and I think of this. I'm going to make that box become alive. Right now that box is dead. It doesn't have a name. It's inanimate. It doesn't talk to me, and I can't talk to it. I want you to see this. I take my hand and go down into the soil and push the soil into the water. And I'm wiggling my fingers, and I feel water. I've struck water. I do the same thing over here, down on this corner. I do that 2 times. I'm making the soil and the water come together, and now that box is alive. I can talk to that box. I can understand that box now, because in this box right now, the water is coming up in this corner, and the water is coming up in this corner, and always flowing that way. I'm going to turn it around a little bit where you can see a little different. There's my corner. There's my corner right here, and the water in that box is flowing this direction, because this is the wettest corner, and this is the driest. And if I had put just one hole down here, the water would have flowed this way in that box. If I put it one in the center, like I said, it would flow 360 degrees in this box. So far I plant it, but no matter what I'm going to plant in that box, I do it just exactly like this. I have the box now prepared for planting anything I want to plant in this box. It's ready to go. No matter whether I'm going to plant flowers, vegetables, tree, or what, so far everything is done the same. We have water, air, soil. I compact the soil and the water together in this corner, in this corner. Then I have another product I use. If I'm not growing blueberries, I wouldn't use it if I were growing blueberries, but I take the Dolomite. I'll come around and hold it up so you can see it. What does it say?
Dolomite.
Do you know what Dolomite is?
Bone meal? No.
Dolomite is calcium carbonate with magnesium. It's the same thing as high cal, but high cal doesn't have magnesium. I put this bag in this box because there are no roots in the ground from this box. And so everything that plant needs I have in here for the minor elements like iron, zinc, copper, manganese, molybdenum, things like that. I also get the available calcium so I won't get blossom and rot. So I come over, and I've always believed when you garden you should have fun. So I open this up, and what's your name, ma'am?
Lydia.
Lydia? I'm going to call this box Lydia. I'm going to spell your name out. I'm going to run out of room. Then I'm going to put a ribbon around you. What am I doing? I am broadcasting the lime and the dolomite in the top 2 inches of this soil. This box is now forever Lydia. Usually I do this for my wife. I have more boxes named Virginia than anything else. But my wife sometimes gets a little bit aggravated with me because I do something else next. I rub her out. I take my hat, and Lydia's long gone now, but she's a part of this box because the dolomite is mixed with the soil. So that's just a lot of fun in doing something like this. After I have done that, I'll wet it down slightly. The water from the reservoir here would wet this box entirely in about 2 days. There wouldn't be any water left on the bottom. It would come up through this way, and wet this box. But I'm going to help it along just a little bit. So I'll dampen it, just a little bit, not a great deal. There we are. Then I'm going to shape the box. I put the water in it. I put the soil in it. I compress the 2 corners. The water and the soil touch. The water's coming up, and the water's flowing this way in this box. So let me take the 2 cubic feet of soil again. Something about hugging a sack of soil in the morning is very nice. There we go. Still got a little bit of soil left in the bag. Now I'm going to shape the box. Again, it gives me an opportunity to play in the box. What I'm going to do is make it higher in the middle of this box than it is on the outside. And I'll press it down just a little. I do not press it hard at all. Like this, like this. Anyone and everyone can do that. That's so simple. Water, soil, shape the box, dolomite's put in it on the top. You could put the dolomite down below, but it's better on top just like this. So there I have a box. a little bit higher in the middle, water tube right here. The next step, I've got to decide what I'm going to plant in this box. I'm going to decide it for you. I could plant anything in that box right now because it's ready. I could plant a double crop or single crop different ways. But I'm going to plant tomatoes in this box. Now I'm going to turn this box this way. I'm going to ask the class now, knowing what I said, which way does the water flow in that box? This way. Do it with me. Flows this way, that's right. Because this is where the water and the soil touch together right here. Now, if I want to grow tomatoes, I have to have a fertilizer. This is a 6-8-10. 6-8-10 is, what does that mean when I say 6-8-10? Nitrogen, phosphorus, and potash. There are three primary plant foods. There's nitrogen, phosphorus, and potash. And this is a 6-8-10. That means that's the proportion of the fertilizer. This is a very good general fertilizer for many different types of vegetables. If I were growing only one vegetable, I might customize my fertilizer. But there's something more than just fertilizer in this sack. I want you to look at it now. That's 40 to 50 pounds of tomatoes if I do it right in this bag. That will produce, this bag of fertilizer, 40 to 50 pounds of tomato with no other fertilizer added to it if I put it in this box and do it right. And the class is going to help me now. So I'm going to walk back around the table. I'm going to ask the class, I'm going to grow 2 tomato plants. Where do I put this fertilizer in this box to grow 40 to 50 pounds of tomatoes?
I'd say to your right. A line down the right.
You say over here?
Where the water flows to there, I would figure you'd put it where the water flows.
What did you say?
In the corners where the water.
Would you come up here? We'll take, it's worthwhile, this lady is, I wanted to give her reasons for that. She thought this thing out. Which way does the water flow in that box?
It goes that way.
Flowing this way.
Yes.
So where would you put the fertilizer?
I would put it here so that it's going to cover the entire garden in the corners.
May I come around here and put my arm around you?
If I can put my arm around
I want
you.
everybody to look at her now because she's dead wrong. Now you may be seated down. Her logic is she didn't know this is a serendipity. You're gonna win a cup. Just don't say anything else in class here. 99% of the people say put the fertilizer over here because the water is flowing this way and the water will carry the fertilizer. And everything I said was true. The water will carry the fertilizer. That's the last place I want to put the fertilizer because I've lost control. It could burn my plant. So where I'm going to put the fertilizer over here. All the way down the slope right here. I'll open that bag up. Like I said, this is a 6-8-10. You can use different fertilizers. And there's nothing prettier than fertilizer in the springtime under an oak tree when you're thinking and dreaming. Say, look at there. Isn't that pretty? I'm going to teach you now the principle of the earth box. Why I put this fertilizer in this band over here on the right-hand side. Why I did not put it over here. The water's coming up in this corner, and the water's coming up in this corner, and the water's flowing this way. So it keeps the fertilizer pushed in this direction. Just like that. Now I want to pretend that we go and get the county agent and I ask her, give me a salt reading. How hot is that fertilizer? Could I put a plant in that fertilizer? No. It would absolutely kill it. If she would test that, it would be about 75 to 80,000 parts per million salt. I could not put a plant in this right here. However, then I asked the county agent, give me a salt reading right here. Top of this box right here. That would be 75,000 parts per million salt. This would be 4,000 parts per million salt. I'd say, hallelujah. What I'm going to do is put my plant here and here. And the roots on that plant will grow and stop right here. The roots on that plant, I've got a box behind me I'm going to show the class. The roots stop right here, and the plant feeds on 4,000 parts per million salt. So this is the principle now. Fertilizer has a unique ability to go from a high concentration, 75,000 parts per million salt, to a lesser concentration, 4,000 parts per million salt, against the flow of water. 75 here, 4,000 parts per million salts right here, and then I put my plant right here, and the roots on that plant grow and stop right here. And this is called diffusion. The fertilizer will diffuse against the flow of water about 2 inches and goes from 75,000 parts to 4,000 parts, and all the feed the plant will use will be taken from right here. And when the roots grow over in this band, the fertilizer is gone. I have put as many as 5 bags of fertilizer in this one band of fertilizer and not hurt my plant that I plant right there. Any question on that? That's the principle of the box. There are 3 ways I'm going to teach you to fertilize this box. This is my favorite way. All the fertilizer goes down the side where the tube is because the water is flowing this way. The second way is put the fertilizer all the way down the middle. And then I would ask you, why doesn't it burn the plant over here with a double crop? If I put a 2, 4, 6 pepper, 2, 4, 6 collards, 2, 4, 6 mustard, collard, corn, the corn you see, all the flowers I have, the fertilizer in that particular box is planted right down the center. And I'm not going to put a cup out. I sometimes use a slow release fertilizer, which I have right here. What I would do is take a slow release fertilizer for flowers or for vegetables if I wanted to, and I pour it right here. Right here.
What's the number on that fertilizer?
That's at 18612.
18612.
That's a high amount. There's a lot of fertilizer here. That's what grows the beautiful flowers we have out here. What grows the herbs, what grows the strawberries is this bag of fertilizer right here. One way to fertilize it, put the fertilizer all the way down the side where the tube is. The second way to fertilize it is put the fertilizer down the middle. All the way, and put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I just planted okra, and I put 10 okra plants, 5 on each side. Then another way I can fertilize this box is I can come up like this and go on an angle to my tube. Put the fertilizer out right here. Now that's a lot of fertilizer in that box right here. If I wanted to grow a combination box, 1 tomato plant, 2 pepper, cilantro, and onion, I can do that. I take my tomato and put 1 plant here and push it that direction and stake it that away from it. And women are responsible for that. They like a choice. They make a salad box. They make a hot box of peppers and things like that. But they have all types of combinations that they use. So those are the 3 ways. All the fertilizer down the side where the tube is, all the fertilizer down the top of the box where it's a little bit higher, or down the top of the box and go over to the bin and put 1 tomato plant or 1 eggplant or 1 cucumber or something like that right there. Any questions? Yes, sir.
I noticed you had a box with a rose in the middle.
Yeah.
Where would you put the fertilizer there?
I put it on the corner. I put it in between the flowers and the rose. I grow beautiful roses in the box. If I were going to grow all roses, I would put a hole in the middle where the fertilizer would go, the water would go 360 degrees. But we grow beautiful roses in this particular box right here. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
How often do you have to fertilize?
I only fertilize it the one time for the life of the crop. I use the same soil for many years. But let me go ahead and finish doing this. I would dampen this slightly. Well, what I really would do, I'd put a little bit more soil. We're going to plant tomatoes in that box right here. We'll put a little bit of, well, I'm getting it out somewhere. There we go. See the wind blow that?
You use both kinds of fertilizer for one crop of tomatoes?
No, ma'am, I use nothing but chemical fertilizer. I just did that to demonstrate right now the ways that it was going to go. I put a little bit of soil on top of it and dampen it down because I don't want that fertilizer to move. And now it'll stay right where I put it.
Cover the fertilizer.
Don't have to, but it'll blow if I don't. See, I put it very lightly. Then I take, and you always use the top. In Florida, we use 2 different colors. We use the black and we use the white. In the north, you always use the black side up. What we do, we call this the shower cap. Let me find it. It'll be somewhere in here. There we go. Come on and put it over the pipe. See now, I usually turn the box the other way, but
Why are you using the white now?
it's summertime.
Summer is white.
There's 12 to 15 degrees difference in the color of the plastic, what I reach in here. I use the white plastic from about now until the 1st of October. From about October until the middle of April, I use the black side. In the north, you always use the black side. So now I have a choice where I'm going to plant the tomato. Where is the fertilizer in this box? Down this side where the tube is. So I'm going to come in here, make a hole. I don't usually plant a plant this big, but this is a very good plant late in the year here. Cut a hole here. And I could plant anything I wanted. I could plant cucumbers. I could put eggplant in here. I could put multiple things in this box. I could put pepper in this box, just like this. Then I come in and make my hand, and I'm going to put that that plant deep. Make a hole just like that right here. Now I'm going to show you. I asked the class a question. There were two little leaves a while back right here. Can you tell me the name of those leaves? Cotyledon. The reason I said that is when you plant a tomato, you always set it to the cotyledon leaf. There's 25% difference in the yield of a tomato whether it's set deep or whether it's set shallow. So we're going to set that tomato deep. Now, sometimes I love to do this. If I were going to set a plug, which I usually do, I would take a stick like this and go down and make me a hole just like that. That's the most wonderful instrument you have. It costs about $0.10 to make. And it'll plant earth box after earth box, just like that. But this box is a little bit bigger late in the year, so we'll open it up, take the plant out of here. She's not root bound at all. This is a Florida 47. It's a very good tomato, high yielding tomato. It's a determinate tomato. I'll put a little bit of the soil off and break the roots up, and I'll drop him down in here. Push him down deep. There we are. I'll do the same thing over here. I'll take my hand and make me a good hole. This is a Florida 47. It's a lot of fun to do this. That's the most widely grown tomato in the state of Virginia and Maryland and Florida right here.
Does it grow up north if you took it?
Oh yes. It grows better up north because you got less disease. Florida's got so many diseases we have. I'll put it in here like this. Push it down. Then I'm going to do one more thing. This is the only time I water it from the top. I wet it down a little bit with the water.
That water looks blue. You got fertilizer in it?
That has a weak solution of 20-20-20. Because many times when I set my plants, they're very hard. I like a small, hard plant. Now I know I have enough feed to start it. And let me introduce you. Your name, Lydia? This is Lydia right here. Isn't she pretty? Literally speaking, she's very pretty.
That means tomatoes on it.
Well, let me say something about this tomato. Today is what's the date today?
The 18th of April.
The 18th of April. This tomato won't pick until June. It'll pick June the 9th at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Ready to go. She'll be ready to go. I'll have to stake this tomato. I'll have to water this tomato. I'll have to spray this tomato to keep worms out of it, but I'm not going to get into spraying of tomatoes or anything right now. But you will need to stake them up, and they'll get about as high as your shoulder if everything goes right with them. Any questions? Do you understand how to plant this earth box now? It's a different type of container than anything else. It works under a principle. Yes, sir.
How many plants can we put in there?
2. I've tried it many times. I'd rather have 1 plant than 3. 2 makes way more tomatoes than 4. They crowd each other. There's only 2 tomatoes in those boxes you see over there. That bird's agreeing with me when he's hawking at me. There's only 2 tomato plants to each box over there. There's no room for any more.
You put 6 peppers in?
I put 6 peppers. I put the fertilizer all the way down the middle. We have a direction in the box that tells you what to plant. But on pepper, I'd put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pepper. No. If I can put 1 tomato plant and 2 pepper down here by using the fertilizer down the center like this. There are different combinations you can make. But I like to plant tomatoes, or same, because of the spring and the time they mature. You go by compatibility of maturity and things like that. Now I want to do one more thing. I can't see it till I turn the box. Tell me whether this water is dirty or whether the soil fell through it or not.
Nope, what's laying there?
See that doesn't fall through at all? Now if I dumped it real slow, it would go into the soil. I plant my boxes consecutively. We've got boxes we've got 8 or 9 years with the same soil. And I'm doing experimentation with different things.
So do you then have to buy another package or container of fertilizer?
Every time I have to refertilize, it's like cooking it and putting your food on the table. Your family eats it, the plant eats the food, and it's gone. Another question, I saw a hand, yes.
How do you water the earth box?
Water it, I learned. Believe it or not, it'll drink anywhere from a quart of water up to 2 to 3 gallons of water per day. Depends on what time I have had them drink as high as 6 gallons of water, a big tomato plant, in the springtime when the wind's blowing. Usually 2 or 3 days. We have an automatic waterer now that you can put the automatic filler in it and go away for 6 months if you want to. I'm going to grow everything this summer on an automatic waterer. I did it last summer. But you do have to keep the water. You have enough water for a couple of days, but you don't want to let it run dry. Water it through here till the water runs out that hole down below. Thank you all so much. You've been a wonderful, patient class, and I appreciate getting filmed. We'll see how it works out. Maybe one of you will be a movie star someday. Thank you so much. I'm going to drop this in, just like this. Then I take a tube, and this tube is going to go in this box. Snug, there she is. This box is now assembled. I'm going to water through the tube. The water's going to run out on the overflow, like this. Later on, all the water will be done through here. You water through the tube. But right now, I'm just letting it down like this. And I go plunk. There it is. There's the theory. I dump it as fast as I can dump it. That soil will not fall through the water down, in the water. I take my hand and I smooth it out. Smooth it out. I break every little clump up, and it feels so good going through your fingers. Just like that. Just like that. I take my hand and go down into the soil and push the soil into the water. And I'm wiggling my fingers, and I feel water. I struck water. I do the same thing over here, down on this corner. I do that 2 times. I'm making the soil and the water come together, and now that box is alive. What am I doing? I am broadcasting the lime and the dolomite in the top 2 inches of this soil. I take my hat, and Lydia's long gone now, but she's a part of this box because the dolomite is mixed with the soil. So that's just a lot of fun in doing something like this. After I have done that, I'll wet it down slightly. The water from the reservoir here would wet this box entirely in about 2 days. There wouldn't be any water left on the bottom. It would come up through this way, and wet this box. But I'm going to help it along just a little bit. So I'll dampen it just a little bit, not a great deal. Oil again. Something about hugging a sack of soil in the morning is very nice. There we go. Still got a little bit of soil left in the bag. Now I'm going to shape the box. Again, it gives me an opportunity to play in the box. What I'm going to do is make it higher in the middle of this box than it is on the outside. I'll press it down just a little. I do not press it hard at all. Like this, like this. Like I said, this is a 6-8-10. You can use different fertilizers. And there's nothing prettier than fertilizer in the springtime under an oak tree when you're thinking and dreaming. Say, look at there. Isn't that pretty? I'm going to teach you now the principle of the earth box. There we go. See the wind blow that down because I don't want that fertilizer to move. And now it'll stay right where I put it. Don't have to, but it'll blow if I don't. See, I put it very lightly. Come on, put it over the pipe. See now, I usually turn the box the other way. Make a hole. I don't usually plant a plant this big, but this is a very good plant late in the year here. Cut a hole here. And I could plant anything I wanted. I could plant cucumbers. I could put eggplant in here. I could put the most wonderful instrument you have. It costs about a dime to make. And it'll plant earth box after earth box, just like that. But this box is a little bit bigger late in the year, so we'll open it up, take the plant out of here. She's not root bound at all. This is a Florida 47. It's a very good tomato, high yielding tomato. It's a determinate tomato. I'll put a little bit of the soil off and break the roots up, and I'll drop him down in here. Push him down deep. There we are. I'll do the same thing over here. I'll take my hand and make me a good hole. This is a Florida 47. Put it in here like this. Push it down. Then I'm going to do one more thing. This is the only time I water it from the top. I wet it down a little bit with the water.
That water looks blue. You got fertilizer in it?
That has a weak solution of 20-20-20. Because many times when I set my plants, they're very hard. I like a small, hard plant. Now I know I have enough feed to start it. And let me introduce to you, your name, Lydia? This is Lydia right here. Isn't she pretty? We're going to illustrate to you right now how to replant an earth box that you would think would not be salvageable. This was a cauliflower box, and we're going to take the cauliflower out of this box and replant it right now. Cliff is going to help me, and we're going to cut the cauliflower right off at the stalk with a good pair of snips. Don't want your finger caught in there. Yeah, we've already cut the cauliflower off these boxes right here. There you go. I'd cut the others out. So I'll remove these. What I'm trying to do is salvage the box where I can use it over and over and over again. This had broccoli in it. We cut our broccoli out of it. I'm going to take the top off of it now. There I can see my box. All the fertilizer in this particular box is right here in the middle. Every bit of it. We're going to look at I cut the stalks out right level with the ground. Now to dump that box out and refertilize it, replant this box, I have to throw this box away almost to dirt. But I'm going to salvage the dirt, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put okra in this particular box. So this is where my fertilizer was. I'm just going to come in here and saw a couple of times down the box. Nothing but roots I'm cutting. Boy, it's solid roots. Just like this. Instead of dumping this soil out and not being able to save the soil in this box, this will work very well. I'm cutting it down along the road right here. Now I'm going to come right on the top and make me a trench. Now that's pure fertilizer as I have right here. That's just 100% fertilizer. And the cauliflower used most of it up. Making it right in the fertilizer. I'm not moving the fertilizer to the side way. I'm keeping it right in the same area. A couple more times and I'll have it. There we are. Then I'm going to take my hand and make a little trench right in the center. We're going to plant okra in this box. I could plant anything I want. I could plant squash. I could plant zucchini. I could plant corn. Anything I have a seed, I could plant peas. There we are. Now let me get my fertilizer. I take my fertilizer. I'm not going to put any Dolomite in it this time. I don't think it needs it. Put more fertilizer right down the middle because the cauliflower used up that fertilizer. Like that. It's a lot of fertilizer I've got here in this box. Instead of taking material out of this box, I'm adding material to this box. I've covered up the fertilizer. I've smoothed out the ends. I'll shape the box where it's a brand new box look like on top. A little more soil. Smooth it out. I'll dampen this to keep the wind from blowing it. Watering it down. I have this box well shaped now. I put new soil across the top. Doesn't take me just a few minutes to plant this box. I take my top. It's summertime now. I'm going to put the white side of this top up. Line my holes. Like this. There's the box now. It's ready. Got all the fertilizer down the middle like it used to have. I cut the cauliflower off the sides right here. Now I'm going to make the seed. Got a little hole. All of these old roots will be completely rotted. Doesn't take long to do it. I'm going to put 5 okra to the side. That's fresh dirt I have right there. And about a gallon of soil. There we are. That's one side done. Cut in the middle. I think I'll just put 3 on this side. I'll put 2 seed in a hole. Making my holes. That's the last hole I'm going to make. I come back and I look at this and I take my finger and make a little hole right in the middle. Make it a little bit long, go across the diagonal part. Find my seed. Here's my okra. I love to do this. We'll open up this okra. That's old okra seed. I keep my okra in the ice box. That way it'll stay good for a long time. I got wet in my pocket. It's hard to get out. Here we are. I put 2 seed in each hole. Putting 2 plants in each, 2 seed or 3 seed. There we are. Try to save my seed. I'll plant another box for that. Then I come back with my hand and push down on the seed a little bit, pack them in. About 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 an inch of soil. This is fresh soil. The cauliflower is underneath it. Bit like that. Then I'll take the hose, I'll dampen it. There's done. There's the box. A few minutes ago was in the cauliflower. We were finished with it. We didn't throw away anything in that box. We reused the fertilizer in the middle. I covered up with a new piece of plastic, the other cauliflower, and I'm going to eat all summer long. I'll eat all the okra that I want to eat. Thank you very much.
Earthbox Store is located in Ellenton, Florida, where you can find a complete selection of earth boxes and accessories. Also, you'll find a complete line of Fairy Morse plant seeds to get your garden started. A well-stocked inventory of Earthbox supplies, including garden supplies, can be purchased at our one convenient location. While you're at Earthbox, please feel free to browse around our garden areas, where you will find a variety of flowers, herbs, and vegetables. Our helpful and friendly staff will help you find everything you need to plant your Earthbox. Gardening instruction and classes are a weekly event here at Earthbox.